Okay, so wanted to show you just how nice these winter gems are. They're really, you can see the interior pushes, so they're nice and full and thick. You can see that from the photo. They'll continue to keep pushing out that interior growth. We have just an excellent crop that we're pulling out of. So we still have quite a bit of availability. We have chunked into that a little bit, which is great. We still have a little ways to go, but just keep showing these photos, keep talking them up. This is one of those plants that is, definitely a great value with the size. It should be able to go just about anywhere between a landscaper, re-wholesale, or garden center. All three would be extremely happy with the size. And it's not too overgrown where you can't really take care of it. You can see there we gave them a lot of space to maintain the bottoms. That's very critical with boxwood. Nice full plants, excellent quality, and you still have availability. So that's a great thing to say about a boxwood right now. So keep pushing that one. I like Stensa. We still have availability on these. They're never going to look as good as they look now. They look fantastic. They came out of winter great. You can see the size there. They're full to the bottom of the can. Obviously, you can tell from the size that this is, a spring window here. So we really need to do everything we can to get these shipped out before we go too far down in through May. We got time. This one won't break for a little while yet, probably a couple weeks away from that. Once it does, it'll start to do some interior breaking, and not that you need this plant to be any fuller, but it will even get fuller than what it is now. So, we got 1,000 of those. We also have Green Magic.
Yep, about the same.
About the same amount available. So keep pushing that one. Great for re-wholesale landscape. If they're buying a 7-gallon or whatever, even though we do have 7s available, I hate saying this, but your 3-gallon is this 3-gallon is the best value, fantastic size, easy to take care of. So excuse me. So that's that. So let's go into a different animal. So this Manservia type blueprints. We're kind of hitting the wall here on Royal Family. There will be another crop coming on, but we're a little bit of ways away. It'd probably be more towards mid-May by the time that comes online. But we do have Prince, we do have Princess, we have some maids out there, as singles. So keep talking about those and seeing what you can do there. You can see there just a great size, great plant with, you don't need equal amounts of males to females, but you will, get way better pollination if you throw in a couple males with the females. So holly, we've talked about this maybe before, so it's just something to learn about. Holly aren't particularly straight male and straight female. It's just the one tends to have a lot larger male flower part, and it tends to be more sterile than the female, which tends to have more of the female flower part. So even though there's not a male around, the female one can still produce a limited amount of pollen where it can self-pollinate. So holly aren't real true straight dioecious. They can still self-pollinate. They just won't berry nearly as heavy without kind of the male counterpart. So that's kind of how the Manservia holly work. So, but I've known people that get by without a male, and I've known people that swear by a 50-50, and it's all over the board. The nice thing about the male is it is a glossier leaf, where the Princess is a little bit duller, but still a nice leaf. But the Prince has a much more glossy, shiny leaf. So sometimes people like to mix them 50-50 just for that. So a little song and dance about holly. All right, so rhododendron, this is a new one that came out a couple years back. in the Proven Winter program. It's called Black Hat. You can see here it's in full flower right now. You know, don't, yeah, we don't have availability, but we still have these booked. We just wanted to make sure you're aware. We've showed you before, but PJM's type, this is an X hybrid PJM type, are heading towards the downside of their bloom. So, you know, make sure that whoever got these understands that these are typical bloomers for this time of month, even though we're a little early. We're not super early on PJs. They always bloom in around mid-April. So this shouldn't be a shocker to anybody unless they truly don't understand the plant. It's called Black Hat because it has real dark, glossy foliage. That's where the black hat comes in. But it still has a standard PJM flower, I think a little bit lighter than our Leets are in color, more pinky than towards the purple, which you can see there, but still bloom roughly around the same time from what we've seen, great hardiness, all that. So we'll be bringing more of those online soon here. It'd be more towards into May or June, but we just want to make you aware there's several sitting over there. We really need to get them out and get them on trucks.
There's still some tight buds in there, so it's not totally blown, and it's about 200 sitting.
Yeah, you literally have days here. So if your intention is to land this with some kind of bloom, it's like now or never. So that's where we are. Spirea double play doozy. This continues to be a very popular spirea. It's one of my favorites. It is very tough, very adaptable, probably one of the best repeat bloomers I've ever seen in a spirea. So this one will have multiple bloomings throughout the year. This is a today photo, so you can see the foliage we've been able to push out on it, which is great. So it has nice interest right now. We're still a ways away from a bloom. Typically it's mid to into May. Yeah, this year it might be more towards mid-May. Who knows what Mother Nature is going to throw at us here, but I would expect it to be a little bit earlier, but it is definitely not a bloomer for Mother's Day. But the nice thing about doozy is it has fantastic color, so it brings your eye right to it with the foliage, and then we get those you know, really nice heavy blooms. You don't really have to trim it to get it to repeat bloom. That's what's great about this. I do suggest that people do that. They'll probably, it'll just get rid of the old blooms and make the plant look a little better. Especially if it goes through its first generation bloom on the lot. I would encourage somebody, if I was visiting their garden center, to light trim them if they don't have them shipped by the time that first bloom starts to end, and they'll look fresher for the next bloom. So great plant, great series of plants, all the double plays. But we do have doozy available. Just a note on candy corn, we're sold out. There's a few over there we're still shipping. Next crop on candy corn, I do have them in an enhanced setting, so I am really trying hard to push them for you. But this is going to be more a mid-May event, probably more for Memorial Weekend. But just know we will have 1,000 plus probably hit about that time, and I continue to bring liners in as I can. So that's where we are with candy corn. All right, so we'll go to a collage of photos here. So this is just some of that. You can scroll up a little bit. It'll tell you what it is. So Cheryl just took a few photos to show you where we are. With the bloom state, you can see there's just a little bit of color. The Proven Winter Centera Peru is probably, it looks like it'll always be the first one to show the pearl of the flower, but they all pretty much, most of them open at the same time, except for when you get into the bigger hyacinths like the Declaration. That's going to be one of the last bloomers. So we do have a little bit of a hiccup on Vulgaris. She had to pull them off. We're probably going to be getting those back on here pretty quick. I'm going to take another look at the crop today. So just be patient. I think we'll be back in those. we just want to make sure we're going to have enough flower blooms. I'll be able to make that determination today. If it looks like we're going to have a bloom issue, I'll contact everybody. The plant is not, it's beautiful. The plant's beautiful. It's nice and healthy. We moved into a newer crop. We're a little worried that by doing that, we might not have enough flower blooms, and that might upset somebody. So it looks encouraging to me. I'll be able to go up today and we'll pick through those and see if we can see any formation of flower blooms. So, but that's where it is. Nothing wrong with the plant. It's just we want to make sure we're communicating to the customer correctly, and I don't want to disappoint people. My intention is to send these plants out in the best shape I can with as many blooms as I can. So, okay, Techni-Mission. So this is a brand new item. I need some kind of music, like dramatic music to come on and go da da da. But so this is it's not a new plant, but it's going to be a new product for us. What happened was a few years back, we kept having trouble getting the liner. So I started ordering it from multiple sources. And guess what? Everybody shipped it. So I came up with just way too many. We wanted to see how they went through winter, all that kind of stuff before we listed them. This is nothing I have to move today, but for those of you who might have customers that want to use them to line out in the field, you could use this as a retail type of plant too. You can see there, it's a nice looking plant. It's in a 2-gallon. You know, I wouldn't call it a 24. I'd call it a good heavy 18. I think that's more than fair for the height. You know, Techni's, I mean, you guys know your territories. I mean, obviously big in Chicago, through a lot of parts of Ohio. So this is just something that's in very short supply. We got the code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the code.
Some sold it.
Yeah, so somebody found them.
Yeah.
So that's good. So we're good to go. So something new to talk about. Probably, well, I don't know. I think you could spend time with everybody. I was going to suggest spending time with some of your customers that have more of a kind of a rounded operation where they do a little planning, things like that. But, you know, like I said, this would be a nice plant to go to a retail thing too. So there you go. Not a small number either. So you got 1,900 of these. They're spaced out. They all look like that. So I could ship that all day long. So Thuja whipcord. This is one that we brought on several years ago. Lee, is this still your favorite plant?
It is.
All right, there you go. So if you want to know anything about this plant, just call Lee. But we got 400 of these. This is the first time I've been able to have availability on these, and it's great. It's a very unusual plant. It is not a Chamaecyparis, even though it looks like it. It is an arborvitae. It's a type of arborvitae, which is very strange to have this type of growth. There are those out there, and this is one that was selected that is looking really good. So we like it. We're going to continue to grow it. Cheryl's got 400 of them available. We also have several of them booked, but we'll be able to continue to ship. But, you know, we wanted to show you this is something unusual, definitely kind of eye-catching for the garden center. You know, landscapers, this might be a little different for them, a little too different, but, you know, people coming in looking for something unusual, this thing here ought to attract them. So see what you can do there. Viburnum Spice Island. This is, what's that?
Look how pretty that is.
Oh, yeah, Cheryl said I need to do a song and dance on this one. So yeah, I would agree that this is a great plant. I can't say enough about these new fragrance out there. This one is in our program. It's in the Plants That Work. This is Spice Island. This is a true dwarf. So it is, well, let's not call it dwarf. Let's call it compact. So it's a true compact. This plant here is 2 years old in a 3 gallon, probably another year and a half as different liner and cutting stages. So 3.5 years old, you can see how compact it is compared to a straight Carlisi. A straight Carlisi would be probably about 3 times as big as that one. And it would just now start to think about blooming. So that's what's fantastic about this. This can be a foundation plant now. Its bloom is incredible. It's amazing how many blooms it set. It has a really nice fragrance. I don't really smell any difference between straight Carlisi and this, although they all give me headaches, so I don't know.
You walk in a house and it just smells amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are great. So they are sold. We just want you to get these out now. If your customers were a little unsure and kind of bought them in, they weren't, get them out now. They will hold that bloom for quite a while, but they're spring bloomers. They do not repeat. I don't have a fragrant that repeat blooms. And now is the time in general for all fragrance to get shipped. But we just wanted to show you this one, create a little buzz, talk about it. We will have another crop coming online very quickly, another plant that will be ready in mid-May. So we just have like 4 weeks to go, and we'll be back into a new crop of these. So see if you can get those moved out of here while they still look nice. And then the last one is Weigelia spilled wine. That is a today photo in the middle. And uh-oh, Cheryl sees buds. So there's some buds forming. I would think we're a few weeks away, but we might start seeing some sporadic blooming here for the 1st of May, which will be actually the first time I've ever seen that. So we do protect these, we do enhance them a little bit, because usually in a normal year, you won't even see a leaf on this thing till after Mother's Day. So that just doesn't work for people. So we do a little bit of enhancing. All it is just keeping them covered a little bit longer. We don't really heat them. But we also go to clear plastic. We have to be careful with venting. But the growers did a fantastic job with the crop this year. You can see there, sometimes you can get some of that greenish color early when you do that. They really got the white plastic on time and got more light in there, and really, really did a great job of getting that deep color into that leaf. So this is definitely a plant that sold more for the leaf color all year than the flower, but the flower, it will bloom. Obviously it's very striking when it blooms. So it's it's a double whammy. It has that great foliage, keeps that great foliage all year, and then you get a heavy flower right off, which will be coming up here shortly in a couple weeks. And then you'll have sporadic flowering throughout the summer, but its main flower will happen over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that's that. The other Weigelia are looking really good. Cheryl, we moved Sonic. Yeah, and I think those were sold, but we were able to move those to current. So if you had those on, you can start shipping those. The rest of the Weigelia are looking nice. So we're getting good color on them and good growth. So looking good there. Okay,